Hello and welcome to the Mindset Manifesting Business Show. I'm so excited to introduce this beautiful Jen Blanford to you. She's a social media manager and a mom of four children people. She's doing all the things with her business. She's helping everyone with social media. I'm so excited to get into this conversation with Jen just so that she can help us with tips and tricks on how to use our social media in our business. Jen, tell us more about yourself. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you on the show with us.
Thanks, Yvette. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. So as you mentioned, I am a social media manager. So for the basics, what that means is I do anything from content creation for my clients, help them with engagement, editing reels, editing content, the only thing I will say I don't do is paid advertisements. That's it. And yes, I'm a mom of four. My oldest three are girls. They're all currently adults, so to speak, 22, 20, and 18. And then I have my youngest is 14. He's my son. He happens to be the main reason that I started my business. He has severe autism. So I have to work a lot of things around his schedule.
Right, that's true. So, how did you get into social media? Because you say it's basically because of him. How did that come about? What happened?
So I got into social media in particular because of some experiences in the past, some job and life experiences. And prior to starting my own business, I was a community engagement specialist for a nonprofit. So I helped them with their online communities and sometimes editing materials and just kind of managing and moderating those communities. And so I really enjoy connecting with people online. And then from the personal side, I was and still am a big Facebook fan, kind of a thing for, I guess, my generation, Gen X. I'm 51. So, I enjoyed using social media in that way. So it kind of made sense to just go into social media management. It's something I really enjoy, something I have a lot of experience with. And of course, with doing it as my own business, it allows me that flexibility to work it around what I have going on with my family.
Yes, it's not the 9 to 5 job at a desk kind of thing. I love that. I'm sure a lot of mothers will resonate with that as well. What would you say what was like one of the best tips you can give business owners managing their own social media instead of going to someone? Like, what would you say?
Yeah.
What would be a good tip for them?
I think the best tip I can give is that you need to sort out what is doable for you, not what some guru online recommends. Where you'll see online social media experts say, in order to succeed on social media, you have to post X times a day and engage in, this place and that place and the other place. And sure, while that will probably lead to, success, it's really not sustainable, I think, for a lot of business owners, particularly those who have children that they are also caring for. So I think
Yes.
making it doable, because then that allows you to be consistent, and consistency is how you ultimately will grow on social media.
So would that be the consistency with, say, 3, 4 times posting a day, or what is the consistency you're talking about? What does that look?
Sure. I think it depends on the person, right?
Okay.
I think there is a lot that can be done, and you can still grow with only posting 2 to 3 times a week, even, and hopping on several times a week, perhaps for a few minutes here and there for engagement. Because if that's what's doable for you, then you'll show up and you won't burn out. Because if you burn out, it's no good for you, right? It's not going to help you grow.
Yes, absolutely. I think everyone is trying to be online all the time because I think that is the active thing to do. And I've seen a lot of people burn out because of that. And also, they actually want to be on all the platforms.
Oh,
What
yeah.
would you say about that? Would you say, because I follow a coach, and she's insistent you do one platform until you hit 1 million kind of thing. And then there's others that say go everywhere. So what would you
Right.
suggest? What would you suggest to that?
Really, I think for most business owners starting out, or even those and they might want to keep it this way as well, but for starting out, 2 to 3 platforms maximum. One is even fine because,
Wow.
and I think if you can make it platforms like Facebook and Instagram where they kind of integrate and you know what I mean, they kind of feed off one another. You can use similar content and just modify it. I think
Mhm.
those are that kind of thing is the best way to go. But again, I think it just really depends on the person, and that's part of what led me into my new offer where I help people with a personalized social media plan that I base off of how much time they have, how much energy they have, what they like to do, because that's another thing too. There's no sense in getting on a platform if you don't enjoy it, you know?
For sure. Yes. So some people burn themselves out wanting to show up live all the time and do all the trainings and the webinars and all the things. So you say that you would take it and you would kind of mold it to their personalities and their living situation, that kind of thing. So sometimes it's just write a post instead of just doing all the live things. Or would you mix it up? I suppose, like you say, it is whatever the person actually likes. Yes.
Sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't. So when I do that, I have an intake questionnaire where I ask all kinds of questions, the kinds of things they like to do on social media. Do they like to show up on video or where are they trying to be more consistent? And then I take a look at how much time they really say they have to do all of the things that they want to do. And
Yeah.
then I look at that and say, okay, well, they like video, but not tons, but they want to actually be consistent. So what if they make one reel per week, let's say? If they're doing that consistently, they're getting that exposure via video, but without trying to be all over the place doing all the things. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, right. So how would you say, how would they fit in work with business and home and kids? Like, how do you find that balance? What advice would you give them to find just like the sweet spot?
So this is something I did prior to even starting my own business or even really working much outside of the home. Trying to manage everything with kids that they have going on between especially when mine were younger, getting them off to school when they were in different schools, so different start times,
Right.
sports, doctor's appointments, all of it. I
Right.
started using a daily planner that has 15-minute time slots in it so that
Oh,
and I use it to this day where I can mark in the very time specific things like at XYZ time. Like for example, these days it'll say, 8:15 is the time when my son needs to be on the bus. Then, he gets off, it says what time he gets off the bus. If I have a meeting for work, that gets blocked off. So I block off all of the very time specific things. And then I take a look at my to-do list or what it is I'd like to do, because let's face it, the to-do list is like never ending. But I take a look at that list
yeah.
and the time that I have available, and I plug in when I can get those things done.
Oh,
But
I love.
note that I also block off time for myself, like 3 days a week to work out. I try to take, so in the morning, once my son gets on the bus for school, I take my dogs for a walk because they are ready to go do their business. And then I try to take about another hour before I start anything because the morning is just purely taking care of other people and other things. So I need to take that downtime before I can get going with anything else.
Right. And also because you've only got 3, 4 hours maybe, and then the kids thing starts again. So I think blocking it out is so lovely. That is such a nice idea. And to be consistent with that as well.
Right, right.
Right. Um, you mentioned while we were chatting before I recorded, that you have a content creator guide that you'd like to offer the audience. You say it's a 5-step to create 5 steps that you use for yourself, for your clients to create content. Tell the audience a little bit about this, because I want to drop this link down in the description below with all your social media handles, all the things that they can really get hold of you. But I think if they can get their hands on something like this, it will be so helpful.
Sure. So I know a lot of business owners when I talk to them and we talk about what they find challenging with social media, a lot of them say is creating content. Either it takes them so much to think about what to say and what to create, and
Yep.
or that it just takes so much of their time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I think there's a lot to be said for having a system that makes it easier to put out create your content and get it posted each week. And what I share in the guide is exactly how I do that, all the various pieces of that system.
Oh, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. I know even for myself, you know, when you sit down and you write your emails or you write your posts, that you just think, oh, I've got this brilliant idea, and then to put it in words. So is that basically the 5 steps to actually just help you with the process?
Sure, to everything from coming up with the
Ah,
ideas
right.
to, creating the content itself, to the various images that go with the content, all the way to making sure
Oh,
that it's going to be posted. Yes.
oh, I absolutely love that. That's awesome. So everybody watching, the link is in the description. Go and click it. Get this from Jen. And also I've got all her let me just see, it's Facebook and Instagram handles that I'm going to drop for you. Go and click on it, follow her, and reach out. Of course, if you want any further help with this, if you feel you're struggling, if you feel you're overwhelmed, please go ahead and reach out to Jen. Is there anything else you'd like to chat to us about what you do, how you can help everybody before we say goodbye?
Sure. So I think, like you mentioned, you'll be dropping my social media handles. What I share there, I try to share really practical tips for people who are busy business owners. Whether you have kids or not, there's only so much time in the day, and I try to make social media simple and doable.
That is beautiful. I absolutely love that. I know I'm going to start following you for sure. Thank you, Jen, so much for showing up. I absolutely love chatting to you. To me, this is such a crucial part of online business that I think really gets people overwhelmed and in a state of frustration because they just don't know anymore. So I think it's lovely to have someone just to support and guide entrepreneurs as well. Thank you so much for all your help, all your tips and tricks. Everything just made so much sense. I felt light bulbs going off as you were talking. And comment if you have any questions, drop your comments for Jen. I know for a fact she will get back to you. Otherwise, get hold of her on her social handles and she will interact with you and help you out. Follow those tips. I know it's going to help. Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for joining us and have a very, very, very nice day. Thank you for showing up. Lots of
All right.
love.
Thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
me. All right. Take
You're
care.
so welcome. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.